I'm well compensated. I've got a great partner, and there's a headache around every corner. Every week there's something I'm dealing with. And I'm in the best space in the country in this industry. And there's an argument, there's an issue, a roadblock, something I have to navigate every other week. That's just the way the business is. There are no perfect jobs. Now, there have been years where it's been easier. Okay, there have been times and sections of it where everything kind of works perfectly. You know, you get the right boss, you know, sales are good, you get the right partner, but there's no perfect job. And it's interesting, Tom Brady's quarterback coach had never met him before this year. His name is Clyde Christensen. And he peeled back the curtain a little bit on CBS Sports Radio. He said, when I talked to him, he kept mentioning initially he really liked what Peyton Manning did in Denver. He thought it was fun. He thought it would be a cool challenge. Can I do this somewhere else? Can I pick a team with enough good players and win somewhere else? Obviously, Peyton had won a ton in Indy, and Tom had won a ton in New England. But it's interesting when you think about this, how perfect it was this year in Tampa. It was really perfect. You have a winning coach. They were desperate for you. They had a ton of weapons, a clearly capable general manager, and they listened to you. You wanted Gronk, you got him. You wanted AB, you got him. You needed help on the offensive line. They got him. Leonard Fournette was available. You went and got him. There's only one other quarterback in the league that has that. Patrick Mahomes. He's got a Super Bowl winning coach, a great GM. He's treated like a star, and they listened to him. During the draft last year, Brett Veach texted, in the first round, texted Mahomes, says, give me 3 players you want. He named 3 players, the first being Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the running back, and that's who they picked. Okay? Brady wanted Gronk, wanted AB. Remember when AB came, we were all like, do they need AB? I'm not sure. What? They got him touchdown in the Super Bowl. So when you see Russell Wilson now upset, Russell Wilson, according to The Athletic, watched the Super Bowl and seethed at everything Brady had. When you see Aaron Rodgers, you guys remember 2 years ago? It may have been 3. Aaron Rodgers just wanted the Packers to re-sign tight end Jared Cook. That's all he asked for. They didn't. They let go of his quarterback coach. They didn't tell him. Deshaun Watson just doesn't want to get hit like this. So you think to yourself in the NFL, God, what a great job. There are currently 2 quarterbacks, and it will not last forever. It's perfect. That's it. That's it. Brady is treated like a star. The coach isn't the issue. The GM's not the issue. He's got a bunch of weapons, and they'll listen to him. They don't do that with Aaron in Green Bay. They don't do that with Russ in Seattle. They don't do that with Deshaun in Houston. Deshaun in Houston was told they'd listen to him. So it was worse. Not only didn't they listen to him, they promised they would, and then they didn't. So, you know, you think when you're out there looking for jobs, don't get too precious. There are no perfect jobs. Even for Brady, even for Aaron Rodgers, even for Peyton Manning's, even for Favre, there's an obstacle. The perfect moments are brief. I mean, they were also lucky at the end of the year, everybody got healthy for Tampa. I mean, it literally was perfect. The year before, Tom, except for those Randy Moss years, never really had great weapons. He didn't. He had like 3 years where they had a good defense, a good O-line, and perfect weapons. Tom was overcoming stuff always. They always had a deficiency at wide receiver. They always penny pinched on pass rushers. They never spent the big money on free agents. So don't get too precious. Perfect doesn't exist. And if it does, it is for a very, very short time. Driving is great when the weather is good, but it's often not, like currently right now. Michelin Endurance XD silicone wiper blades designed to repel water, snow, and ice. Get yours today. Available only at Walmart. They last 2 times longer than all other blades. Hour 2 next. And I don't know. I think Broussard was a little critical of him. All right, Chris. It's honesty time. Are you surprised how good he is?
I'll tell you where I was, Colin. I was comparing him. Well, let me say it this way. I didn't go full on guaranteed to become the GOAT like you did. All right. I didn't go that far. All right. But I compared him to Charles Barkley. I think he's the new age version of Charles Barkley. A little bit Larry Johnson, but I love the Barkley comparison.
Yeah.
I felt it then when he was drafted, and I feel it now. I think his skills, his jump shot will improve to the point, Barkley didn't come into the league shooting that way.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be able to shoot it better in the years to come. Obviously, he's got the power and the explosiveness of Barkley. What he doesn't do well, that Barkley always did well, is rebound.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Zion can't rebound. For him to average 6 boards a game is a disappointment. But he looks great. I like the fact that he's on the All-Star team. I wouldn't have thrown a hissy fit had he not made it. But I like that he's there. He'll be there the next 10 years or so if he stays healthy. And what I like, too, Colin, is that Stan Van Gundy is putting the ball in his hands.
Yes, yes.
Now, I don't want him to become LeBron James. I don't want him to have the ball in his hands all the time. He's not that level of player. But for that to happen sometimes, for him to, move without the basketball, be around the paint and cutting and slashing and getting easy buckets, all of that is great. And they've actually taken off since the ball's been in his hands a little more. They've won 7 of their last 12, which is very good for them. So I like what I'm seeing from Zion, but he's got to improve in a lot of other ways. The outside shot, the rebounding, and obviously the defense. But he's a young kid. I'm not going to hold that against him.
By the way, there's a piece of video here we show. It's very quick when he drives the lane against, I think it's the Philadelphia 76ers, and he puts a shoulder into a member of the Sixers, and a 6'6" defender literally flies to the floor. He initiates so much power and so much contact. I want to show it one more time to our TV audience.
Right.
I'm sorry for the radio people. It'll come up in a second here. And just look at the size of the athlete he knocks to the floor. I'll be patient here. Right here. No, not this one. It's coming right after this. All right, give me a second here, Broussard. These are pro athletes. Okay, these are pro athletes. No, it's right after this. I swear to God. Sorry, radio audience. I deeply apologize. Watch this. Watch this. Look at that. Look what he does to that player.
Yeah.
That's a 6'6" player.
He hit the stanchion. Yeah.
Knocks him 12 feet.
Well, you saw the other night, you saw what he did to Tristan Thompson.
Yes.
In that game, that comeback on Boston, where he just pulverized poor Tristan. And I like Tristan, but my goodness. No, he's playing well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold the winning. People are holding, they're not winning. How well can he be playing? LeBron James didn't make the playoffs his first 2 years.
That's right.
Kevin Durant didn't make the playoffs his first 2 years. And they obviously were balling. So you get a grace period as a young guy.
Sure.
You really do. Unless you come in and play with a superstar like Kobe with Shaq, Magic with Kareem. Otherwise, you get a grace period to win.
All right, so there's a lot of arguments today about the Celtics and Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens. And I've been saying this. Joy and I talked about this. We have a condensed schedule, and it's really not benefiting a team like Boston. Boston has to play a certain way. Boston needs extra. They're very tactical. They need the extra day of practice and film study. And they've dealt with some injuries. So this kind of talented Boston team that basically this condensed schedule is taking out a lot of coaching. That it's just like, go out, guys, and play. You play, you fly overnight, you land, you get a shoot around, and you play. And I don't think they got to the finals last year, Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think it's Brad Stevens. I think this condensed schedule is benefiting some teams, and I think it really hurts the Celtics and Brad Stevens. That's my take.
Somewhat. I mean, look, obviously coaching has made a difference in Philly. Doc Rivers is doing a great job there. I heard what you said earlier about Quinn Snyder and these guys being in the system, but Quinn Snyder's doing a great job of coaching. I mean, that team, he's the coach of the year for me right now by a mile. So I think coaching is still having an impact. And Brad Stevens, anybody that says he's not a good coach just isn't watching the game. So he is definitely a good coach. There's no doubt about it. And he's earned the right to be able to work through this tough period. And it's tough. They've gone 7-14, Colin, over their last 21 games. I mean, but here's the question about Brad Stevens. Can he handle Ferraris?
Yeah.
He's the guy that